How often did you come in contact with pimpish characters?
You never know. You know, it's a odd subculture. I think now with social media, there's a lot of fake pimps, people who want to be pimps. But the real guys are still kind of subterranean. The ones who can survive in this.
They're not flexing on social media and giving the game away.
But I also think, you know, people think that this is somehow a glamorous life, and there's all these documentaries and movies, and you know, Snoop Dogg had a whole persona about 20 years ago. Being a pimp is basically being the biggest dirtbag on earth.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a good person, and it's not something to aspire to at all. Mm-hmm. And you're still poor. I mean, there's nobody making true money being a badass pimp. At least not in 2023.
Even the Jeff Bezos of the pimping world, I think, is still not that well off that it's worth the trouble.
You're driving a 2006 Camry with dented doors. You know,
it just blows my mind that they managed to convince 3, 4, 5 women to give them 100% of the money night after night, while they're the ones taking the lumps on the street and having to sleep with who knows what that guy looks like and who knows what kind of diseases he has. It just isn't one of those things that I know is very common in some ways, but still I can't believe exists.
It's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's this documentary, which I think I may have sent you.
I need to watch this. Remind me.
I think his name's Snoop. I think it's or Snook or something. It's a Milwaukee pimp.
Yeah.
And it basically shows what he's doing. He confesses on screen.
Okay.
He's now in federal prison. He's going to be there a long time.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. It's like some of this is like everybody. We want to be the highest in the pecking order. We want to be the best of the best. And I think a lot of these high profile pimps, they just wanted to be known as the best. That's why they're wearing the feather hat and the clothes and whatnot. They want to be the best in their profession. But it's all bullshit. You know?
Let me run a scenario by you. So someone very, very close to me at one point was selling a lot of drugs, and they got their door kicked in for the 3rd time. They got booked, and they were wanted to plead to I believe a 15-year deal. They didn't. But about 10 months after they were in jail, the evidence was reweighed, and they said, "Oh, sir, sorry, this is actually all misdemeanors. You're out." Now, if he would have pleaded to 15 years, would that evidence have come in, or would have he been set in stone?
He'd probably be cooked.
Now, what do you think about that? Because that just seems wrong to me.
I think your friend may have been doing other stuff to get out from under that rock. And I don't know who this is. Maybe this is a made up person, right? So the bad thing, and I know you talked to Sammy the Bull, right? Who is a notorious gangster, but also a notorious snitch.
Yes.
Snitching, unfortunately, is the way of life.
Yeah.
In 2023 in America.
Most people you think fold given the opportunity?
Yes.
Yeah.
There aren't stand-up guys. And it's not, one, it's the culture, especially in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's everybody's telling on each other all the time. Yeah. All the time. But two, the pressure, the downward pressure, especially in a federal case, is you're going to debrief with us. You're going to tell us everything you know. And by the way, we're coming with our own information, and we want you to fill in some gaps or to confirm what we think we know. And that's the only way that you can get out from a top charge of what the U.S. attorney wants. Because these drug conspiracy cases, you are on the hook in conspiracy law in the United States for not just the drugs that you may have been transacting, you and your supplier, but all the other spokes of that conspiracy wheel. All of that can be together. You have what's called vicarious liability for all of that. And so because they do penalties based on drug weight, the whole negotiation, once you get indicted, the negotiation is between, 200 kilos and 50 kilos and the discrepancy in sentencing between those numbers, right? Like, am I going to get a 10-year mandatory minimum or a 5-year mandatory minimum or no mandatory minimum? Those are the fights that your attorney and the U.S. attorney are having. And a lot of that is, well, what has he done for us? I mean, he's got to come in here. He's got to start pointing fingers.
Is there anyone that you've put away that you felt kind of bad about it, or you felt like, he probably only deserved 5 years, but I was hard on him. I got him 10.
I'll say, as a prosecutor, no. as a defense attorney, you know, I see my clients sometimes getting raw end of the stick. And recently that happened on a case that I worked really hard with and a client that I absolutely love. And I think he's a wonderful kid and he's going to do a big stint. And that's hard. I mean, that you wear that.